Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Wealth in Christ podcast, a show where we encourage people to find spiritual and financial balance in their life through the abundance grace of God. On the podcast today, we have one of the founders of Eva Creation, Carlene Robinson. Carlene started Eva Creation with her sister Zoe to mix their passion for creating and their love for baking. Today we're going to talk about what it's like being an entrepreneur and still working a 9 to 5. So thank you for being here, Carlene Robinson. It's nice.
Thank you for having me.
So how are you doing? Let's start. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing really good. There's been so much happening in my life since launching Eva's Creations. I never really have a downtime. I'm never really bored anymore. If I'm not working, then I'm baking. If I'm not baking, then I'm working. So it's always something going on. So things have been really good for me. I'm truly enjoying my life and I'm enjoying all that I'm doing now.
That's good. So how do you manage? How well are you in time management?
That's a great question. I think since launching my business, I definitely had to get better, right? Like I wasn't always the greatest at time management. I wasn't the most organized person in the world. However, because of this business, because I have so much going on, besides my job, besides this business, I'm also one of the youth leaders at my church. I have to find a way to juggle it all. So I pretty much became much more organized, right? So I started writing things down. I started making plans, whether it's using a planner or just writing it on a whiteboard. I definitely got way better at juggling all these things because I found that if I don't, then I'll just be all over the place and everything would be a mess.
That's good. That's good.
Right.
My next question would be, how do you find the inspiration like after you go through work, to go and do business, date?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love what I do, right? And because I love what I do, it definitely gives me the passion and it gives me the push I need to get up and start baking. So I work all the way in the city in Midtown. So then I come home and I get up for work around 6. Maybe I'll get home around 7:30, 8, depending on traffic. And then after that, it's straight to baking. The good thing about my business is I don't do it by myself. I have my little sister with me. So she's more of the baker. I'm more of the creative genius behind everything. I decorate all the cakes and I work on our websites. So she kind of have everything prepped and ready for me to go. And then when I come home, I just get to it. But like I said, it's because I love it, because I have so much fun doing it. That's what gives me the passion to really get up and keep working, even when I'm tired.
That is great. How old is your sister?
I, she's 20.
Um,
She's
how's it?
20 years.
I'm
She's
working.
a college student now.
That's good. How's it working with a family member to build a business?
Um, it's interesting, right? So when she get on my nerves as a business partner, she's still my sister. When she gets on my nerves as a sister, she's still my business partner. So it's really interesting. It's a interesting dynamic, but it's one that I'm truly grateful for and I truly bless God for. I don't think I can do this with anybody else. Sometimes I can be a real stickler. I can be really hard, and I think she knows me very well. She's known me all her life, so she knows what to ignore, when to go a little bit harder. And so it's a beautiful thing working with my little sister. I wouldn't have chose anybody else. I couldn't have done it with anybody else.
That is dope. That is definitely dope. So
Yeah.
that's definitely dope. So what led you to creating Eva Creation? And can you go into detail what's Eva Creation?
Yeah. So that's a loaded question for me, because there's so much that led to this. Like I said, I work in healthcare. So I'm a healthcare worker, which is something that's totally on a different spectrum from baking. But I've been a creative all my life, whether it was writing, whether it's drawing, music, dance. They're all things that I love. So I've been working this beautiful job in healthcare, and it's not that it got boring. I love what I do, but I decided that I kind of needed something else. I kind of wanted to tap into my creativity a little bit. And I actually, believe it or not, wanted to start a podcast or wanted to do a YouTube or something. However, I said, you know what? I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray about it. And I'm going to ask God to give me the direction that I need and to give me the yes that I need to do it. And I decided to wait. And I decided to wait on the Lord. And I prayed in around January and I heard nothing. He didn't say anything to me. I didn't get my yes to start a YouTube or a podcast. However, in around March, end of February, he did tell me to start a baking business. That was so random. How did I even get into baking? So my grandmother, she's been baking my whole entire life. She does it all. And we've always used to kind of help her out and kind of get into the baking ourselves, but we never really took it serious. I actually didn't start designing cakes until last year when I got this idea, which is kind of crazy. But so I got that idea. It was really random. I didn't know if it was from the Lord or was it just me talking to myself. But then I was like, it can't be me because I want YouTube. I want a podcast. I want something else. I don't want that. So I prayed on it a little bit more. I spoke to my close friends, to my family, and then I just started to receive all these different confirmations. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go with it. So from like March to May, 2 months, we just practiced. Like I said, we never designed a cake before, which is crazy. We baked cakes. We know how to make a cake taste good, but we don't know how to make it look pretty. So for 2 months, we kind of practiced. And in May, we launched our business, and we're actually coming up on a year, May 2nd. So in May, we launched our business. And what we do at Eva Creationz is we bake cakes for any kinds of events, cakes, sweet treats, cupcakes, you name it. We bake it, we create it, and we give it to people.
that is dope. I'm just the fact that you say you guys didn't know how to create, you just like went.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I believe that I'm a natural born creative, but I didn't. The cakes that we design, it literally blows my mind every single time. I had no idea that this is something that we can actually do. I didn't know what could happen. I had no idea. So for those 2 months, March to May, we were just literally surprising ourselves with the taste and the look and the designs of our cakes. And I think they're good. People buy them. They love it. So we're actually doing a great work, and I'm truly excited.
That's good. That's good. So, how important was faith for you in this journey?
But that faith was key, major key for this journey. Without my faith, I wouldn't have this business. Like I said, I wanted a podcast, I wanted a YouTube, and then I waited on the Lord. And what kind of kept me through that waiting process, I remember the story of Moses when he went up to the mountain and he went to hear from the Lord, and the people of Israel, they were down there and they started to worship different idols. And the Bible literally said that they corrupted themselves all because they couldn't wait. And I didn't want to be one of those people that started a business and then it goes south or it goes down. And then I'm like, oh, Lord, come help me out. And then he's like, I didn't even tell you to start it in the first place. I didn't want that to be my story. So I decided to wait on God. And when he spoke to me, like I said, at first I was confused. This is not what I wanted to do. But then I took a chance. I stepped out on faith and I did it. And now we're here, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
That is definitely great. I just want to go back to how you said you practiced for 2 months and that was it. A lot of times people, they would hear from God or have a vision and they would just like, because they're not so-called perfect or they're not. So what, like, I guess, push you to, okay, whatever happens, God, you're gonna get.
Like I said, besides my faith, I'm surrounded by a beautiful community of people. My family, my closest friends, my church family. I think having their support, having them push me, having them tell me that my stuff look good. And the thing about my friends, right? They're not gonna lie to me. Like, those are the type of friends that I have. That if I say, look at this cake, what do you think? They'll tell me if they think it's ugly. If I say, taste this cake, what do you think? They'll tell me if they think it tastes bad. So kind of getting that yes from them and kind of getting that confirmation that, oh, no, this is good. This looks good and it tastes good, definitely helped push me. When May came around, it was time to launch. I was super nervous, like super nervous. I remember the first cake that we had, it was actually for one of the close friends of mine at another church. And it was the first time they were trying it. I remember we was outside and they all took a bite of the cake and it got really quiet. And I was super nervous, but then they all turned around and they loved it. So that kind of gave me the confirmation that I needed to keep going. Like, I'm doing something good here and to keep pushing. And literally from that day, there has not been a weekend that we have not been booked out. Like, every month we've been booked out. Every weekend we have a cake. Every other day So I've had no choice but to keep on practicing. So that's a little weird, right? And I definitely agree with you in terms of people want to be perfect first before they start. But sometimes when the Lord tells you to move, just move and trust the process, trust His process.
Trust his process. I like that. Trust his.
Yeah.
I like that. So what is it like? Are you saying you've been booked every single month? So has it been a struggle for you getting clients, or it just
No, honestly, it has not been a struggle for me. And I truly bless God for that. And it is all God. Like I said, besides my family, besides my friends, because they'll support as much as they can, but then the birthdays stop rolling around, and now I got to really start reaching out to other people. One of the things that I did prior to starting my business or launching my business was starting my Instagram page, right? So I started the Instagram page as soon as I got the idea, as soon as I got the name. Mind you, I got the idea, the name, my business plan, all in that one day. So I started my Instagram page and I started posting on there before I even launched, before I even told anybody my idea. So we started baking and practicing, and whatever we would practice, we would take a picture of it and post it. So then we started having people that would randomly like stumble across the page, like it, and they'll be from New York as well, so they'll order as well. So when I launched in May, it was just so easy. I already had a customer base. I already had people that loved what we were doing and was just ready to get a taste or a bite of our cakes. So I think definitely preparing myself or getting my page ready, definitely putting myself out there before even launching, definitely helped me get clients besides my family and my friends. Now we have people that I don't know where they come from. They come and they order their cakes and we just get it ready. And I'm so grateful for that.
no, that is definitely dope. That is
Yeah.
definitely dope. I'm definitely enjoying your story so far.
Yeah, I took a big risk.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's really dope. That's really dope. So, what is your big goal for Eva's creation?
Yeah, so I'm so again we're coming up on a year, May 2nd. So definitely I'm gonna take this time, maybe a week or so, just to kind of sit down and kind of take a look back on all the things that we did within the last year. Every time I go on my page, like I said, it blows my mind that it's only been a year. In that one year, we've met so many different people. We've done so many different things. But I definitely want to take a minute to just step back, to take a look, see what worked, see what didn't work. And for the things that did work, definitely make it bigger and better. Overall, down the line, my plan is definitely to have a bunch of bakery stores. I look at companies like Insomnia Cookies or Baked by Melissa, and they're all people that started in one room. I think Insomnia started in a college dorm room. Baked by Melissa, she was a working mom and she started working at home and she started baking in her home. And it kind of grew into these multi-million-dollar companies. And that's where I see myself, me and my sister starting in my home, and then growing into a multi-million-dollar company, having different stores all over the place, even internationally. So that's my big goal. But for right now, definitely going to take a look at what worked, and try to make it bigger and better.
That's growth. That's dope. That's dope. So, what has been your biggest challenge so far growing the business?
Yeah. So like I said, I uh, I work full time in healthcare, which is very demanding. Besides that, I also help out at my church as well. So it's a lot. And being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, a lot of things that we do, everything that we do is all on me. It's all on me and my sister to kind of figure it out. I think that's challenging, especially when you're juggling so much. So besides my life and all the things that I have to do, my sister's a full-time college student and she also has a part-time retail job. So we're all really doing a lot. So it's really challenging to make sure that we post on time. And besides needing the time to create the cakes and get them out, we also have to remember we have a website, we have Instagram, we have Facebook that we constantly have to update, and let people know what's going on or what's to come. So I think kind of just juggling that all is really challenging, especially when you have other things in your life going on. I think it would be a little bit easier if this was my only focus, but it isn't. And it won't be for a little while. So kind of just juggling it all, but it kind of goes back to the first question of how do I stay organized? How do I do it all? I definitely just have to plan it out, plan and execute.
That's definitely dope. So what is the best selling cake or best selling cake that you guys make so far?
Yeah, so we've been selling cakes and we've just been doing really big cakes for people like a party of 20 people or more. However, a lot of people would come to me and say to me, "Oh, I just want a slice. Like I don't want a whole cake, I just want a slice of cake." And obviously we could have just sliced up our cake and put it in a little container and gave it out to people, but we kind of wanted to do something a little different, something a little special. So we decided to do jar cakes, right? So it's literally a cake in like a mason jar, and it comes with a spoon and it comes ready to eat. And it's become our like niche product. It's one of our best selling products, and we're constantly in demand of that product because it's a cake that you literally get to eat and take with you wherever you go. You could eat some, put in your bag, put in the fridge, like so. It's really great. So that's one of my best selling products, and I think the best flavor is our Oreo blast, which is just literally Oreo cake and some Oreo buttercream.
That definitely sounds good.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times people make it seem like having a 9 to 5 and having a business could be like a bad thing to have. Do you see it as that?
No, I see it as a blessing. And it's a blessing for me because I literally get to go to work and do something that I love. And then I get to come home and do something that I love. I think maybe it's a bad thing if you don't enjoy your 9 to 5. But besides me, just loving the healthcare or love working in healthcare, I work with amazing people at my job as well. So it definitely makes it a lot more easier to wake up and to go handle my business at my 9 to 5. And then, like I said, I come home and I do something else that I love, being a creative, being a baker. So it's not a horrible thing. It's something that I enjoy doing. It requires a lot of time. It requires a lot of energy. And obviously, eventually, I will choose to just stick with one. But for right now, I'm having a good time.
That's definitely dope. So, what would you say to somebody who wants to, I guess, come on the similar path, whether it's bakery or, but they're struggling, not making time within 9 to 5? What would you say to that person?
That wants to bake but is struggling with their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, pray about it, right? Pray that first pray and get your yes. That's important. Get your yes from God. And then after you get your yes, then literally allow him to work. Ask him, what can I do? How can I do it? How can I make time? Can you help make time in my life for me to get these things done? I am such a believer. And I really believe that God can do anything, even the littlest, tiniest things, like make an hour in your schedule for you to kind of get things done. So first start with God and then be practical in terms of really planning out your life, really taking the time to look at my schedule and say, okay, from 9 to 5, I got to do this. From 5 to 6, I got to go to the gym. From 6 to 7, literally take the time to plan, and it'll definitely help you out. See how many times you have a free time in your schedule, and then use that. So if you're only free on a Tuesday and Thursdays, then bake on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Figure out what works for you. Don't let people rush you. Don't let social media rush you. Do it on your timing, and definitely believe that God will handle the rest.
That's definitely great. So, what is the process of making the cake? So,
Yeah. It so for me it's really easy. Like I said, I don't bake it as much. My sister bakes it, so she does all that good stuff. But for me, like I do the buttercream or the icing and the design. So when we first get our order, we take a look at it. We first make sure that we have time because, like I said, we are usually really busy or booked out. So we make sure we have time, and if we have the time, we take their order. We look at it, we try to find ways to kind of make it our own. Unless someone says to us, I want this exact particular design, which no one really says, they usually be like, okay, you just use this as an inspiration and come up with something. I take the time to kind of look at it, look at other ideas to use as inspiration, um, design it, draw it out, and then we kind of get to work. We go ahead and buy our supplies, get whatever it is that we need. I tell my sister, okay, I need 3 vanilla cakes or 2 red velvet cakes. And she kind of gets that part done. And then I come home with my supplies and I get to work. So
that is dope. That is dope. And how do you, because you do play around with different flavors, so how do you know, okay, I'm going to try this flavor and Like, how do you go about that? Or
Yeah, so I am naturally, I like things very plain. I don't like too much jazz. Vanilla, chocolate, red velvet, call it a day. I'm done. I don't want anything else. But I know that everyone is not like me. People want strawberry, they want lemon, they want peach cobbler, they want all these different things. So the blessing is, and like I said before, my grandmother, she's the one that Eva's Creation. So her name is actually Eva. And the Creationz is a playoff off of my name, which starts with a C, and the Z at the end is for my sister Zoe. Um, so she's a baker. So the good thing about it is she knows how to bake half of these stuff anyway. So we go to her and we ask her to teach us, as well as my uncle. He's not a baker, but he bakes, I guess, and he comes up with all these great things. And he's the one that's usually constantly like, "You should do this," and he tries it, and then he tells us the steps, and then we go ahead and execute it. So we are just blessed with a bunch of people that tried it before us. Then they kind of let us into the secret, and then we do it. But my sister as well, she is very experimental. She loves trying different things, and like I said, she is really the baker at heart. So she would just try it, have my mom, my dad taste it, a couple of friends taste it, and then once we get that approval, we go ahead and push it out.
no, that's definitely dope. You mentioned your grandma. So how big does she play a role in you starting the business?
Yeah, besides just having her name as the name of our business, a huge role. Not only was she a baker, or she is a baker, she's a seamstress. You could give my grandmother anything and she'll make something out of it. And I grew up watching that my whole entire life. So it definitely gave me the inspiration I needed to go ahead and be a creative as well. So I think just watching that, being a part of that, we've seen her bake cakes for weddings, anniversary, you name it. She's done it all, for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and they taste good and they make us happy. And I love that feeling. I love the feeling of getting a piece of my grandmother cake, eating it, loving how it tastes and the joy that it brings everyone. So definitely being able to kind of replicate that, and share that with people all over New York City and beyond, is truly a blessing. So this business is absolutely dedicated to her and her creativity and her genius when it comes to baking and just being a creative, period.
That's definitely dope. That's definitely dope.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? You know, they want to like help sponsor your business or buy a cake. How can people?
Yeah. So we have a website. It's evascreationz.com, and it's EVAS Creations, with a C and a Z at the end. .com. So we have a website and everything is listed on our website. All of our social media handles. You can email us at any time. Or even our Instagram. You can go on there and you can find my personal page or my sister's personal page. And we're very open. You can literally contact us at any time. And if we're awake, we're going to answer you. And if you have any questions, you can find us there. But we definitely have a website, and I always recommend people to check out our website. And it's as simple as evascreations.com.
That's good. Do you have a final word to close us out with?
Yeah. So definitely put all your trust, especially when it comes to being an entrepreneur, starting a business, whether it's something a little more creative like YouTube or a podcast such as this one. Definitely trust in the Lord and have faith. Get your yes from Him, and then once you get your yes, then move accordingly. There's nothing that's impossible for God. I don't even think our mind can truly fathom all the things that He has in this world for us. So definitely trust in God, and move accordingly to what He says.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time, Carlene. It was a pleasure connecting with you and knowing more about your business. I definitely plan to support your business.
Yes.
For those who are listening, I hope you guys do support her business, Eva Creation. You can find her on Instagram and her website. And stay tuned for next week's episode.